Hey everybody, thanks so much for checking out this video. This is the May 22nd FBMaryville Church Family Update, and happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. And speaking of Memorial Day weekend, if you have an opportunity or you have a chance, run by the church building this weekend, and you're going to see all the flags that we traditionally set up for Memorial Day and also for Veterans Day in the fall. But you'll see all those flags put up, and I just want to thank so much Paul Hitchcock and Sandra Rosenthal and their folks that helped them put those up. So if you're not doing anything and you want to take a ride, run by the church building and just think about all those that have sacrificed for our freedom, and be sure and take time to do that. Well, there's probably a question on your mind with a lot of things going on with the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected businesses and churches, and lots of things are in the news. And if you ever want to get depressed, just turn on the news and you can get depressed real quick, because it seems like it's always bad news. But I know what you're probably thinking, and I've been thinking this too, is when are we going to get back together as a church? And that day's coming, and that day will happen. But I want to give you an update on what is leading up to our gathering back together. I mentioned to you, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, that I put together a task force made up of people from our church that come from the medical field, and also from law enforcement, some staff people, and also our company that we use for cleaning our facility. We all sat together and we started to putting together a plan and having discussions about what it would look like when we come back as a church family. And we even set some dates that we thought that might be feasible that we could come back. Well, when we did that, then not too long after that, just a few days after that, things changed. The governor changed his orders, and rules changed, and then lots of discussion took place, and I've had people calling me, as you can imagine, wondering when we're going to get back. And I've even had people say to me, well, you know, that church down the road, or there's other churches that are opening, how about us? When can we open? And it reminds me of two of my granddaughters not too long ago were saying to me, how come she gets to do that and I don't get to do that? And I started thinking about how they're just different. And so we allow certain kids to do certain things and certain other kids not to do certain things. And in the same way, there are things that are right for some churches to do, and there's things that are not right yet for churches to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back as safely as we possibly can. And so we've put together this plan. We're going to be going over it actually with the task force this next week. And then we're going to be listening to the news, and we have, like I mentioned, we have law enforcement people on our task force, and they're friends of ours. And we want to be friends with our law enforcement folks, because I'm telling you, the Maryville Police Department and the government of Maryville, they are pro FBMaryville. And so we're excited about partnering with them, not just with this and the comeback, but also in a lot of other things in life. So thank you so much for praying for us as we continue to go through this process. Remember, I mentioned to you that when things are out of our control and we don't know what to do, what we need to do is focus on the things that we know are true. And two things I know that during this pandemic that are true for our church, that God wants us to worship Him. And that's why we worship Him with our worship nights in the middle of the week. That's why we worship Him online on Sundays. But here's the second thing that He wants us to do. He wants us to take care of each other. And so, folks, I think about all the pressure that comes with making a decision of coming back. But then I also think of some of my friends in our church family, some of your friends, who during this pandemic period have lost loved ones. And they're grieving. I know of others that are friends of mine that got bad news from the doctor. They got cancer, or they're going through treatments. And you know, their priorities are different than the priorities of coming back to church at a certain time, or beating another church to come back to services. So we need to take care of one another. You know, we are sheltered in place, but we are not sheltered from reaching out to each other and encouraging one another. We're not sheltered from sending a card to somebody. We're not sheltered from Bible study and getting closer to the Lord during this time. So let's focus on what we know to do during this time. And God's going to bring us back. He's going to bring us back a new people. He's going to bring us back with new vision. He's going to bring us back in a new way. And let's prepare our hearts for that. Well, I love you so much. Can't wait till we gather together, and looking forward to that day. But until that day, We'll see you on Sunday. We'll worship together. We'll draw ourselves closer to Him, and we'll persevere. Oh, by the way, this is such a special weekend. Rhonda and I are celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary on Sunday. And my message on Sunday is one of the 2 P's, and I'll go ahead and I'll let you know what that P is. It's perseverance. And if anybody has persevered over the last 40 years, it's been my wife, Rhonda. I look forward to seeing you this Sunday. You all take care of yourselves, and we'll be in touch. Love you guys and miss you.